Coming up, the latest tablet from Google. Chad will sound the alarm on the Skylink net. We'll also take a look at the last Nokia Lumia, the 830 with Mike Elgin. And I'm going turbo! It's time to watch before you buy.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. Before You Buy is brought to you by Casper, an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price. Because everyone deserves a great night's sleep. Get $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting Casper.com/beforeyoubuy. And don't forget to enter the promo code Before You Buy. And by iFixit. You can fix it, and iFixit makes it easy with free step-by-step repair guides, high-quality replacement parts, and all the tools you'll need. For $10 off your purchase of $50 or more, go to iFixit.com/twit and enter the code Before You Buy at checkout.
Welcome to Before You Buy, Twit's product review show where we get some of the latest and greatest stuff. We get it in-house, we give it to our team, and they bang on it and give us a real-world review, how it feels to use it. And we've got Jason Howell right here. He produces Twit, Twig, Mac Break Weekly. He's the host of All About Android. He is the host of Android App Arena. He is a man about town, and he's carrying the stylish Nexus 9.
Check this out. This is the HTC and Google collaboration, the Nexus 9. And yeah, you know, it's a good tablet. It's got issues, though. We can talk all about it, but...
It's also the first device we've seen with Lollipop.
It's the first
release.
Yeah, the first official device with Lollipop. It's also the first official 64-bit Nexus device tapping into the 64-bit capabilities of Lollipop. And so, you know, you kind of hope that it's going to kind of speed things up a little bit, give it a little bit more better, you know, management of the resources and all that kind of stuff.
It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, if not a little bit.
No, I was talking about Lollipop.
Oh, okay. No.
Android 5.0.
No, Lollipop is fantastic.
I think the look of Lollipop is great. The Nexus 9, maybe a little less so.
Yeah, and you know, Nexus, this wouldn't be a first for Nexus devices. They're usually kind of, I don't want to say basic, but they don't necessarily go overboard as far as design notes. But, you know, one thing about this one, of course, you have the kind of metal casing around the side. The back is a soft touch plastic. It's getting a little bit of heat for the fact that, and you're not going to see it in this camera, but it kind of has a little bit of a hollowness in the center, which for a tablet that starts at $400 for the 16 gig version.
You mean you press it and it goes in?
Yes. So
it's got a soft spot like a baby?
Kind of. A little
Yikes.
bit. It's back there. It's not the worst thing in the world. I've definitely seen worse, but it's there. And for the OCD, you know, people in the world, it might bother you a little bit.
This is I guess the successor to the Nexus 7 and the Nexus 10s of last year.
Exactly, and this is definitely different. Those were 7-inch devices. This is a
7 and 10. This is in between.
Right. Yes, exactly. 8.9-inch display.
Who makes this?
This is HTC.
Okay.
So this is HTC. HTC's been out of the tablet game for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
And honestly, you know, I think I would have expected a little bit tighter control over the design for HTC. They're very known for their design, and usually they're kind of little tanks.
Look at the HTC M8. The HTC One is a gorgeous phone.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to have seen a tablet based on that design. I
don't hate the design here, and the body, you know, the kind of flexing in the back doesn't bother me that much, particularly in use. It is a little heavy. But
was HTC constrained by the price? Is this a low-cost tablet?
I wouldn't say it's low cost. I'd actually say it's pretty close to premium versus the competition. $400 for 16 gigs, $479 for 32 gigs. Oh. That's what this model is.
It's iPad
And then
cost.
eventually, yes, exactly. Eventually a $599 for a 32 gig with LTE. And you've got a 2.3 gigahertz NVIDIA Tegra K1 dual-core processor.
This is the newest K1, the 64-bit K1.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, it's pretty fast. I would definitely say, though, there are some times when, you know, I'd go to do things and I get a little bit of choppiness, jitteriness, and I don't know if that's just inherently an Android at this point because I'm always hoping for things like that to kind of go away. But more or less, it's pretty snappy. It just every once in a while things will kind of jitter.
It feels decent.
Yeah.
Is this how high res the screen is it? Is it a very high res screen?
Yeah, 2048 by 1536.
Okay.
That's 281 pixels per inch.
So that can slow it down a little bit. That's a lot of pixels to shove around.
Yeah, exactly. Not QHD necessarily. So at least there's that. But and to my eyes, pixel-wise, everything looks super sharp.
Yeah.
It has an 8-megapixel rear-facing camera back here. I kind of like the kind of chrome styling around the camera. Pretty unimpressive camera performance. Yet again, my complaints with tablet cameras is just that, A, I don't take a whole lot of pictures with my tablets, but B, they just generally come out kind of washed out, a little hard to get a nice, fully sharp, focused picture. And this tablet is kind of no difference. This is the Veterans Day Parade.
This was earlier today. Yeah.
Just earlier today, I went for a little walk with the tablet. But having said that,
is it clean? It feels like there's a smudge at the top of the lens.
Yeah, well.
Is it clean? Look at the back there. That's a smudge. It looks smudged. Either that or you really is a crappy camera. It's terrible.
Hard to say. I didn't see a whole lot down there, but
wow.
Nice
lion.
What you gonna do? Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
picture on the side. I decided not to buy that.
No, I don't know.
But somebody else is gonna end up with that picture of the lion. So camera, kind of unimpressed. Oh, hey, I know that guy.
What's Zach doing?
Oh, he's just pushing buttons. As
Is he doing the TV broadcast for the PCA out there? I think he is.
I believe he is.
Yes.
So you can kind of see, though, in general, kind of washed out, not really, vibrant. This is kind of a close-up of flowers.
It's terrible.
Like to do. It doesn't really look that impressive.
Oh, that always looks good, though. Every camera looks good with that picture.
Man, that picture.
See how that's smudged up there? It feels like it might be smudged, but you say it's not. So that's just not good. It doesn't handle the bright light from above.
No, and and a little bit of kind of motion blur. This is front-facing, good light.
That's actually a better camera.
Front-facing, bad light.
Oh yeah, a lot of grain.
That was pretty low light in my living room. So, as far as we've kind of talked a little bit about the display, the device design itself. It is one of the first, if not the first, Android tablet to be in 4:3, like the iPad. And personally, I actually really like the 4:3 aspect ratio on a tablet. I think it just kind of matches, kind of like holding a sheet of paper. You know what I mean? Versus this super tall, slender device, which is what we've had in Android tablets a lot.
Like the Nexus 7, which is just so tall because it's 16:9.
Now, the downside to that, of course, is if you're using this to watch a movie. So
it's
let's
less
go
good
into
for video, yeah.
play movies, and you end up, got a lot of them. But
You're going to have title bars or those black bars.
Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of the title bars, which, doesn't really bug me because back in the days of laser discs, this is just the way.
Boy, that still looks good,
Yeah, it does. But this also, and it might be kind of hard to point this out on video, but you can see on the edges, this might seem like nitpicking. The LCD panel has this kind of edge bleed that in certain, when you have certain things on the display, really show themselves.
Oh, you look at that. You could see it there dramatically.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's almost like a 3D bezel or effect.
It's pretty significant. All LCD panels have a little bit of this. This one, and I've seen this in a lot of reviews, has it a lot. And I think where it kind of falls apart is, this is considered relatively a premium tablet.
Yeah.
So when it has issues like that, you kind of wonder, if they didn't do their homework before pushing it out. Same with the kind of the back that bows in a little bit. Collects a lot of fingerprints on the back, but again, that doesn't really bother me. If you have the black casing, you're probably going to see it a little bit more. What else? Heat. If you're playing games, I've played quite a few games on this, and it does a really good job. The processor does a great job playing these games like Real Racing 3 and everything like that, but the tablet actually gathers a lot of heat while you're doing that. And sometimes, if you're playing a game that has a lot of touchscreen controls, like you're dragging your finger over a lot, you feel that heat through the screen. So that can kind of get a little annoying, but everything has a little bit of heat, so I guess it's not the end of the world. As for Lollipop, Lollipop's fantastic. You know, it has a lot of really great features, multi-user guest mode.
That's the thing that's interesting. So you have this set up for yourself, but you have a guest mode, which is kind of like the traditional guest mode, and then a kind of a company mode.
Yeah, which I'm not even using my Twit demo account for whatever reason. But yes,
and it's
so
easy. You just swap one to the other.
Yeah,
if you gave it to a kid, would you use the guest mode, and then anything they do, it gets wiped out? Kind of, is that?
See, so it just switched over to my Twit demo mode,
That's
and
neat.
it's its own sandbox.
It's
all the
completely
apps
different.
are completely isolated. Although they're only installed once. So if I install an app on one side and then I go to install it here, it's not going to actually download and install it a second time. It's just going to clear that app to work on both sides, so you save your storage space that way.
Great.
So that's kind of nice. You know, material design, Project Volta is its battery management, and I found the battery to be pretty great on this. Gaming, it would slow it down, of course. But in regular use, I found the battery to be super sufficient. They rated at around 9 hours for that. Yeah, and you know, it's a Nexus device. So
What does that mean?
generally, it means you're going to get speedy updates direct from Google. Speedy is kind of up in the air right now because, as we were talking about before the show, the Moto X 2014 edition is already getting a Lollipop soak test, and that's before any of the other Nexus devices have received it yet.
Right.
So there's a little bit of a, you know, kind of a brewing tension going on with Nexus fans that are like, hey, this is a Nexus device. We're supposed to get it first. But I think ultimately it's a good thing for everybody if these updates come faster. And yeah.
I mean, it has Lollipop on it right now, and I guess because it's Nexus, it's pure Lollipop. It's nothing.
That's right.
There's nothing else on there.
There's no extra, you know, added apps that aren't part of Google's kind of basic, you know, standard approach for Android. So it keeps it really stripped down and basic. And, you know, if you like Matthias Duarte and his design influence, then you're going to like this. That's exactly what it's all about. So that's kind of the Nexus 9 6,700 milliamp hour battery. I already said it's rated at 9 hours, but for you spec folks out there, there you go. Ultimately, I can give you the pros and cons if you'd like to hear them.
Yes. No.
All right.
Well, you know, no, I don't want to hear those. Keep on moving. No. Yes,
All right.
please. Of course, I want to hear
Next
them.
product. Okay, so I really like Lollipop on the device. Oh, of course. 64-bit in tow is fantastic as well.
Can you tell really 64-bit? You can.
What's that?
64-bit. You can tell the difference.
Well, here's how I feel about 64-bit. It's early, obviously,
Yeah.
and you probably and it's hard to know for sure whether you can actually see any sort of improvement from 64-bit or not. But the OS is 64-bit. So you might as well have something that's capable of doing 64-bit.
Here's my opinion, because I don't think 64-bit is in any way an improvement, except for one thing. You can do more memory. But no tablet yet is doing more than 3 gigs.
Only 2 gigs of
and that's only got 2. So I think that in a way, 64-bit could actually slow you down because the registers are larger. You're dealing with things in bigger chunks. It speeds you up in some things. It doesn't speed you up in other things.
I just want it all, Leo.
It's
so if
bigger
it's capable,
number.
I want it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think 64-bit is going to be a reason to buy a tablet for some time.
Yeah, no.
When we start
I
seeing 5
completely
and
agree.
6 and 7
some
gigs.
apps are actually, there's some incompatibility that I've discovered on apps.
And that's
with
the other
this,
side
and
of
I have
that.
to imagine that's partially due to the 64-bit.
And Lollipop, I imagine, is a little bit.
But that's all going to iron itself out. I wouldn't ding that against the Nexus 9. The battery I found pretty great. Nexus, of course, equals fast updates, so that's great. As far as the cons are concerned, I think the light bleed in the display is something that's going to turn some people off, particularly in this price point.
Now that you pointed it out, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Once you see it, it's hard to unsee. The hollow design is going to turn some people off as well. The camera, you can't deny that the camera isn't that fantastic. And I think just in general, this is one of the first Nexus tablets, definitely in a while and possibly ever, that's priced, priced around the same premium levels as the competition. So you really expect the fit and finish to be up and elevated for that cost. I don't know if it's necessarily there with this.
Try,
I have to say it's a try. I don't think it's a bad tablet. I just don't think it's a no-brainer. And
Are they still selling the old ones, the Nexus 7 and 10?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Because that's what I would buy.
I don't think that they are anymore. I
They
think the
stopped
Nexus 7 is done. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like I heard that.
And I don't think I'm alone on this because I have a Nexus 7. I felt no urge to buy the Nexus 9.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great tablet. I'm happy to have it, and I will definitely use it and everything. I just don't think it's a no-brainer. And I think previous Nexus tablets have been a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Do you see them in there? No.
They took it off.
Nexus 7's gone.
So I guess this is the tablet of the future.
This is for the foreseeable future, as far as official Google tablets is concerned.
Will you use this going forward as your kind of go-to tablet for all about Android? I think so.
Yes.
Because it's pure Google.
Yep, exactly. And I have, it has slim port capabilities, so I can also use it to kind of demonstrate apps on Android App Arena and everything. So,
but I have to say, as a user of the Nexus 7, I feel no urgency to upgrade. I feel like
I think you're
I'm
okay
getting
with
everything
that.
I need with a
They're
7
gonna
at
get
least for another
Lollipop.
year.
So, you know.
Right. And it's swift and
Yep.
happy. Jason Howell, he hosts All About Android and Android App Arena. He's an expert on Android and the go-to guy when it comes to Android devices. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Coming up in just a bit, we're going to get a loud alarm from Chad on the Skylink Net alarm system. Before we do that, though, I want to tell you about my mattress, my Casper. I'm so comfy in my Casper. If you do you have the video, Brian, of me and my Casper? You might say, well, why would I buy a mattress online when I could go down the street to a mattress store, lie in a bed for about a minute with a sales girl staring at me, look up at the ceiling and go, yeah, that feels right. I can tell you now, I've bought many a mattress that way, and I've returned a number of them. The Casper, yeah, admittedly, you don't get to lie in at first. Trust me, it is great, but what you do get is 100 days to try it. 100 days is plenty of time, and they will easily return it. They'll come and get it, so it's completely risk-free. You can buy it online, and I think the technology in this is awesome. Look at this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, jump! It is so comfy. It's actually both firm and soft. I don't know how they do this. The memory foam on top conforms to the lumps and bumps in my body, but the latex underneath is very firm, and you get a very comfortable, supportive sleep, both soft and supportive. It's so awesome. I actually kind of took a little nap on my Casper mattress. Just the right sink, just the right support. And it's risk-free. 100 days. Ozzy even likes it. 100 days to return it. Casper understands why it's important to try out a mattress. That's why they let you try it in your home, at night, all night, with your loved ones and your pets for 100 days. I love Casper. These guys are great. You'll love working with them. I like it so much, I sent one to my son. He's in college in Colorado, and he has, just moved out of the dorms for the first time. He's living with his buddies. He needed a mattress. I said, wait, Henry, let me send you the box. It's easy. He loves it. We're a few months in now into that test, and he says, absolutely, you're not getting that out of my hands. Casper is really great. I want you to try it right now. And they're very affordable, by the way. $500 for a twin, $950 for a king. That's a lot less than the industry average, let me tell you. And we're going to save you an additional $50. Because you're watching, go to casper.com/beforeyoubuy and use the promo code beforeyoubuy, all one word, and you will save $50 on your Casper mattress. Casper.com, casper.com/beforeyoubuy. We love our Casper mattresses, and I think you will too. Highly recommended. 2 thumbs up. Actually, I'm not allowed to do that. That is a trademark of the 2 thumbs up people.
2 up thumbs.
2 up thumbs.
There we go.
2 fingers up.
that can go wrong real quick.
Hey, let's get Chad Johnson, the old redhead, in here. He's going to take a look at a home alarm system, the Skylink Net Alarm System Starter Kit. Chad?
Hello, my name is Chad. I'm with Twit and Before You Buy, and today I am reviewing a smart home security kit. This one is from Skylink. The model number on this is SK200. What you get in this kit is you get a Skylink home hub. You also get 2 door sensors, and you also get 1 remote, as well as a motion sensor, and of course all the cables to make sure that it hooks up to your house's internet. This is the home hub. It's pretty simple. On the front of it there are 4 buttons. There's also a lock button. And then there's this, which I assume is the speaker because it has an alarm feature and it'll make a really, really loud noise. On the back, you have an option to add extra batteries, which I have not, so it's plugged into the wall. And there's also the direct current in and the Ethernet out. It gives you an Ethernet, and currently there's no way for this to be wireless, so it's hooked directly into my my router, which is one of the reasons we're using this location to shoot it, because my router's also plugged in the wall, and there's really no way that I can show it all working without being right next to the router. So that could be an inconvenience for you. Let's take a look at some of the other things. Here's the remote. It has 4 buttons. It has a lock, an unlock, a home, and an alarm feature. And I ripped this off of my back door, my sliding glass door. This is what the door sensor looks like, and it's very simple, just like almost any other door sensor. When it moves away, when the 2 pieces move away, it activates so that it knows. In fact, I just got a buzz. I got a push notification on my phone that the door opened and now that it is closed. So all of this is managed through their Skylink app. Skylink Net is the app that you'll be using. Skylink is a company that is known for garage door openers, and so you may have heard that name in the past. This is what the app looks like. It's fairly simple. You just get a grid of all of the different sensors and things that you have connected into the hub. The general feeling of the app that you have to use in order to set everything up is that it is very buggy and not put together well at all. There's many times when menus would fall off the page, or like buttons to move on to the next thing would just fall off of the phone, which you couldn't scroll to really look at. It just looked like that was some sort of design. And there's lots of times where the app would time out and I wasn't able to complete actions that I wanted. There's one feature that is just absolutely broken. I don't know how to fix it. Right now, it thinks that the back door is open. Although this is the sensor for the back door, and I'm looking at it, and it is closed. The moment that I move the other part of the sensor away, I'm just going to drop it in my lap, it now thinks that the back door is closed, even though it's obviously open. The easiest way to remedy this is for me to go into the settings for that device, click on Learn so it could learn it again, but every time I do, the app crashes. Or it doesn't crash, but it says it's timed out, that's an invalid entry. Just absolutely no way to do it. Anytime any of these devices get activated, currently the default is that it'll send you a push notification, which can get annoying pretty fast if, say, you're moving or grabbing groceries or something and you come back to your phone and now there's 20 push notifications that the doors have opened and closed and they're activated and now they're normal. But you can change that on a per device setting if you want. Now, it also has a feature of basically what you would expect from a monthly service, where you can set away times, or you can set that you're leaving your house and that it activates everything. And if someone was to enter your house, it will give them a countdown before an alarm goes off. And the alarm, Jesus Christ, that's really, really, really loud. I can activate it from the app. It's very simple. I can hit arm home, or I can arm that it's going to go away, or I can slide to panic, which will set off the alarm. As you heard, very loud, and that's like my favorite feature, is that if it does go off, my neighbors will most likely be like, what the heck is that sound? Let's seriously go turn it off. Another neat feature is that you don't just have to have the app on your phone or the remote. You can also give someone a code, and you can set the code up in the app to type into the front of the hub. So for the pros and cons on the Skylink alarm system starter kit, for the pros, I'm going to give that the alarm is very, very loud, and I like the fact that you can add a code to the physical device that is in the house. No app required. For the cons, I'm going to say I didn't really enjoy the app. It felt buggy. It felt very horribly designed. I also didn't like the fact that I didn't feel confident in the pieces of technology that I had around the house. I really felt like it was going to break at any second. This cost $149, so $150, and that includes everything. So buy, try, don't buy. For the Skylink alarm system starter kit, I'm going to give this a don't buy. That's been my review. Thanks so much for watching. You can catch Before You Buy at twit.tv/BYB. See you next time. Bye.
All right, there you go, Chad Johnson. Thank you for the review. If you can catch Chad his OMG Craft, youtube.com/OMGChad. And you can also support him, and I encourage you to do that. He's got a Patreon, patreon.com/OMGChad. And you'll, of course, see him Thursdays on the GizWiz and here almost every week with product reviews on Before You Buy. Before we get... No, actually, let's do this now. And then we'll do... we're still to come. We've got the Braven Bluetooth speaker with Shannon Morse, and I'm going to take a look at the Droid Turbo. But Mike Elgin is here, our news director and host of TNT Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 1900 UTC, your daily dose of tech news. And he has the last... It's funny, we've been saying Nokia Lumia, and people saying, no, it's Microsoft now. Though this one's still branded Nokia.
That's right.
The last one.
The last of the red hot Nokias. This was announced September 4th. The first Microsoft non-Nokia Lumia was announced today. Basically, that was on the news this morning. But this is an interesting phone, a very interesting phone.
It's Windows Phone.
Oh yeah, it's in Windows Phone 8.1. It's $99 with a 2-year AT&T contract, $450 unlocked. This comes with a free Fitbit Flex, believe it or not.
That's a good deal.
Now. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. I'd rather have the Microsoft Band because it's newer, but there it is. And yeah, it's a really interesting price. And it's interesting for people outside the U.S. in a couple of countries because this brings Cortana to Australia, India, and Canada.
That's the speech recognition system.
That's right. It's the Siri-like or Google Now-like virtual assistant, and so they'll be looking forward to that. It's essentially a re-imaging of the Lumia icon. It's thinner, and it's a very nice phone. Let's just go through the hardware a little bit. The first thing you notice about this, you think it's a mid-range or maybe a low-end to mid-range phone, but it feels like a high-end phone because this is all metal. This whole rim around the outside is metal. There's some plastic pieces here for the antenna, and of course there's this Nokia-style thing on the back, the Retina Searing Green. Also has black and white and orange, but this will burn your eyes forever.
It's bright, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're on a desert island and you need to be rescued, this will do it pretty much. So this particular one came with both the green and the black. I went with the green because it's just so insane. Now
there's no confusing it with any other phone, I guess. You know,
not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. So this is an interesting material. It's a polycarbonate, of course, and this is similar to the other Lumia phones, but it's very kind of grippy, but it's not too grippy, and it's really nice. I like it a lot. So, okay, so the screen on this is a weak spot. We have to mention that it's a 5-inch IPS display, right? So one of the things that I want to show here, and I've verified that this is showable here. So like a lot of phones, this screen in general goes toward the yellow side. The whites are off. It's sort of yellow-orange. Some people described it as off in other ways.
That
but
seems to be a
off.
symptom of IPS displays.
It is, but look at watch it turn so almost brown to blue.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah, and if you look at it straight on, you can never get a good clean white.
Yeah.
And that kind of bugs me. So the screen is a weak spot on this. A strong point is the camera. So this is a 10 megapixel pure view rear camera sensor, and it's a great camera. One of the things I like about the this whole platform is the fact that you have this incredible manual controls. Now, if you were to go head-to-head with, say, an iPhone with this, the automatic controls, even though it's a lower resolution, with the iPhone as a lower resolution, the iPhone would probably take better pictures. But look at this. With Nokia camera, you can set this, if you're like of a super low light situation, you can set the shutter speed to 4 seconds. You have to have a tripod or some sort of stabilization.
But the fact that you have capability is amazing.
I just love
Same
this.
thing with the ISO.
Yeah.
With the can you set the aperture? Yeah, you can
set all this stuff. So the combination
it's like
of
a manual camera
app plus the quality of the camera means that this is a great camera. Usually a camera with a great screen, great screens and great cameras more or less go together. This has a lousy screen but a great camera. So if you're into photography, if you're a photography nerd, this is actually a really nice camera in this sort of mid-range price range.
All the Lumias, this is the 8.1 camera. This is Cyan camera.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
It's very good. Now, the front-facing camera is lousy. It's 0.9 megapixels. So this is a blast from the past. You don't want to use it, basically.
You know why? Because they have another one that's the selfie camera.
Yeah.
They have
right.
So
go buy that one if you want to take selfies.
Right.
Selfies. Yeah. So it's a mixed bag in that regard. Of course, video is terrible on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of laggy, and you're not going to get really super good video. It maxes out at 1080p, but it's a very slow sort of video. Okay, so it's 16 gigabytes of storage is the minimum and the maximum. It's the only amount of storage you can get. So if you're really into lots of storage, this is not the phone
How much
for
is
you.
free? Do you know after the Windows and system? Because that Windows
I
phone
don't
system
know,
has to be
but
on there.
typically Windows Phone takes up a bit. So I'm, like a gig and a half.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So
Less
you're not
than
going to get all
16
16
available, yeah.
That's right. It has the Microsoft Sensor Core pedometer and NFC built in. It's got an easily accessible micro SD slot. You have to peel off this. It's easy to peel off and put back on. I'm not going to do it
That's
now.
nice, though. I like that. Can you take the battery
You
out?
can take the battery out. It's a 220 milliamp per hour battery, and it's swappable. So if you like to swap batteries, it's nice, and it's a good battery. You don't need to swap it. You'll get more than a day of normal use. So the battery is not a weak spot by any in any sense. Now, I mentioned that the front-facing camera is terrible, but there's an app called Lumia Selfie, which basically will automatically, you can use the rear camera to take a selfie. So you set up Lumia Selfie, you turn it around, and it'll take a picture of your face, it'll recognize your face, and so on. So that's a sort of one kind of like way to get around that problem. Now, just in general, the pros are this feels solid. I think that's an important feature. If you have a cheap, plasticky, flimsy feeling phone, it just ruins the whole experience. This will not feel flimsy. It's got Gorilla Glass in the front. It's got all kinds of great camera tricks, and the camera itself, the hardware is great. It's got optical image stabilization. Even the iPhone 6 doesn't have that. 6 Plus does have it, 6 doesn't have it, and this one has it, which is really quite amazing. And it supports wireless charging, and that, of course, is an option. You don't get the wireless charging dock out of the box. The cons are that the screen isn't great. There's a long out of the box with this phone, and all phones like this, is horrible. You pull it out, you got to download a bunch of stuff, you have to sign up for things, you have to go through this long, arduous process to get it up and running. And that's very different from the out of the box for an iPhone or some Android phones. And the camera is kind of on the slow side. There is no tap to focus, which I find pretty vexing. The autofocus is okay, and it kind of comes and goes, but it's not great in terms of focusing, especially given the quality of the iPhone focusing, which is really fast and really good. So focusing is not great, but again, overall the camera is great, and of course video quality is not so great. However, having said all that, Leo, I would give this a buy simply
At that
because
price.
at this price, with this quality camera and this build quality, it's reasonably good performance. This is a phone that's going to make people happy, and I think that it's a great phone if you're looking for a Windows phone.
Let's clarify. It's 2,200 milliamp hours, not 200.
Yeah, that's right. Did I say 200? 2,200.
I think you left off the 20.
That's
so
right.
just so everybody knows.
That's right, 2,200.
Yeah, that's about right for a phone that size. Same as the iPhone. Yeah.
It's good.
Mr. Mike Elgin, a buy on the Nokia Lumia 830, the last, sad to say, Nokia Lumia.
A tear. We shed a tear today for the end
Now
of
they're
the
called
Nokia line.
Microsoft
That's
Lumias,
right.
but they're exactly the same, so it's not really like
That's
much
right.
of a change.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Mike is back every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific for TNT. We'll see you then.
All right.
And you're doing, we should mention, for the holiday season, you're going to do a week of special shows.
That's right.
That will broach some of the biggest controversies in
That's
tech.
right. We're going to get the biggest controversies, and we're going to get to the bottom of them. We're going to resolve these things once and for all. And I'm not going to say what they are yet because I haven't decided what they are
Well,
yet. But
it'll be a month from now. So.
yeah. So, but it's going to be highly controversial and contentious, and we're going to get everybody around a virtual table, sort of, and we're going to have at it. And
All
we're going
right.
to get to
Can
the
I
bottom
be part of the
this
fight?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Give me one good one.
That's right.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Appreciate it. Mike Elgin. We're going to, could you stick around a little bit? I want to show you, I know you used the Moto X for a little while, didn't you?
I'd love to.
Yeah. And one of the things I didn't like about the Moto X was the battery life couldn't quite get me through a full day, so I was very interested. Sorry, I'm not talking to you, Moto X. I was very interested in the Droid Turbo when it was announced because it's pretty much a Moto X with a ginormous battery.
A giant battery,
Let's see if it lives up to the hype next. We're in a moment, but next it's Shannon Morse. She's got another Bluetooth speaker system. They come out a lot, but is this one you want? We'll find out. Snubs?
Hey everyone, I'm Shannon Morse with Before You Buy, and I have the Braven BRV-X Bluetooth speaker for review today. The MSRP on this is $229.99, but you can find it as low as $169 on places like Amazon. Comes in a couple of different colors. You can either get it in gray and white or black and black. And it weighs about 1.5 pounds, so a little bit heavy. The target market on this is obviously your outdoorsy types, people that want to go camping and hang out poolside or go on really rugged adventures. It is IPX certified water resistant. It is also shock absorbent, and it comes with a little strap so you can attach it to things like your Jeep or your backpack. And the nice thing about this is the battery. So it has a 12-hour playtime on it. It's rated for 12 hours, which is a 5200 mAh battery, and it can also charge any external devices, but nothing that's over 1 amp. So if you have an iPad or a different kind of tablet at home, it won't be able to charge those, but it will be able to charge things such as your iPhone. Now, if you aren't playing any audio after about 30 minutes, it will just turn off completely, and that's to conserve its battery. On the back, there's a couple of different ports on here. First off, I wanted to point out this indoor and outdoor mode. So this basically means if you're playing it indoor, it's going to be a little bit more of a quieter sound coming out of it. If you play it outdoor, it'll pick up the bass. It'll be a little bit more loud. It has NFC capability as well as Bluetooth, so you can get about 30 feet away from it and still play it with Bluetooth just fine. It also has aux-in and a USB port for charging all your devices, but obviously it doesn't come with the USB cord for that. You'll have to supply whatever came with your device. And there's also, of course, the power connector. You'll also notice on the back that there's a percentage indicator for your batteries, so it'll show you anywhere between 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100% of battery charge. Now let's move on to the speakers, the fun part. There are dual full-range 51mm custom drivers in here, along with both a subwoofer and a passive radiator on the bottom. So you get plenty of sound out of here. And one of the nice things about the BRV-X too is that you can also daisy chain it with another BRV-X to get left and right stereo operation. Now moving on to another cool part about this, one of my nice features, is the speakerphone capability for hands-free calling. So it's very easy to pick up and answer any calls that might come through your Bluetooth speaker. It's very crisp and clear, and I was able to get excellent quality up to the 30-foot Bluetooth range, so no problems there. I noticed no distortions whenever I was playing vocal music or all of my different podcasts, but the bass sounded a little bit heavier or more intense than normal. And I tested this with everything from simple podcasts to some rock and roll and some really tight hip hop and some instrumental music. So pretty much everywhere in that range. I really like the quality of this product, and it has this nice rubber footing, so it's not going to bounce around on you anywhere if you are playing music at a loud noise. So all in all, pretty good. Now, moving on to my pros and cons. First off, the pros. It is rugged. It's ready for anything. It has a long-lasting battery of 12 hours, and it's powerful. I love the audio range on this thing. Now moving on to the cons, I did feel that it was a little large and heavy. At 1.5 pounds, it is a little bit too heavy for me to put it in my backpack necessarily. Maybe it's not too bad for you though. And it has very intense bass, and that might not be something that you favor. Sometimes I felt like it was too heavy. Now, is this a buy, try, or a don't buy for me? I would give it a try. Braven has some excellent products out there, and this speaker is definitely one of them. I would say try it out and see if you're one of those outdoorsy types that would enjoy it. And again, I am Shannon Morse, and this is the BRV-X Braven Bluetooth speaker.
Shannon Morse with a try for the Braven BRV-X Bluetooth speaker system. You can catch Shannon on Techzilla on Revision 3, Techzilla, TEKZILLA.com each and every week, and of course on the Hack 5 network as well. In just a bit, we're going to take a look at the Droid Turbo. Before we do, though, I want to show you my iFixit. You know iFixit? You must know iFixit. We love iFixit. iFixit is, you know, I think people think of them and they know them well as the teardown company, right? iFixit will send a guy to Australia to be the first to own an iPhone and to take it apart and find out what's inside. That's very useful, but maybe you don't know why they do it. They take the stuff apart so they can create a step-by-step repair guide for pretty much every product in the world. This is their goal. This is the free online repair manual for everything. I mean, if you shattered your iPhone screen, if you need to repair the red ring of death on your Xbox 360, if you need to put a new battery in that old Galaxy phone, iFixit can show you how. More than 10,000 repair guides, not just electronics, but home appliances, clothing, even your bicycle, and they can hook you up with the parts that you need to fix it. And that's nice. So they can tell you how to fix it, but they can also say, and this is what you'll need. Not just parts, but also tools. They make the best repair tools for consumer electronics. I live and die by my iFixit beautiful ProTech toolkit. This, if you're looking for a gift for your geek this holiday season, let me show you here. This is the ProTech toolkit. This is amazing. Everything you need to fix consumer electronics. You start off, you put on your wristband. It's got spudgers. It looks like you could do dental work with some of this stuff. But if you know what you're doing, you've got everything you need. And really, this is one of the beautiful things. The iFixit 54-bit driver kit. There are in here bits for every possible device known to man. You get 2 holders, a flexi holder for the hard-to-reach areas. And, it's all beautifully made. I mean, when you get a kit like this, you feel these tools. They're just gorgeous cast aluminum tools with the best quality. 54 bits. You've got Phillips bits, small and large. You've got pentalobe bits. That's what the iPhone and the iMacs use. The Mac laptops use. You've got Torx and Torx security bits. Apple really was the first to use those, but now everybody does. Tri-wing bits. You know what that's for? Your video game console. They even have the little known but the oft-needed triangle bit that's used for McDonald's toys. This kit has a bit for everything. And a little magnet, too, because if you, like me, drop the screws in, it's always good to have a little magnet you can pull the screws out with. ESD Safe Precision tweezers are in here. Anti-static wrist strap, I showed you that. The nylon and metal spudgers. The plastic opening tools. The lightweight, compact, durable roll kit means you can take this with you everywhere you go. Your geek will love this. It's lightweight, it's compact, it's durable, perfect on-the-go toolkit for repair professionals and people like me who just love having great stuff. You see, $64.95, backed by a lifetime warranty. We could save you a little money on that if you stay tuned. You can use this to fix your eyeglasses, your doorknobs. You probably could use it to pick locks, but I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I mean, you could pretty much use it to do anything. And, of course, with the iFixit guides online, you can always find out how to do it. With iFixit, you can fix it yourself. I want you to visit ifixit.com/twit for free step-by-step guides. They also sell every part and tool you'll need. And if you use the offer code before you buy at checkout, you're going to save $10 on any purchase of $50 or more, and that includes the ProTech Toolkit. $10 off. ifixit.com/twit. Do use the code before you buy. And we really love iFixit. Kyle Wiens and the crew are just the best. So we thank them for their support of Before You Buy. And I thank them for my iFixit ProTech Toolkit. This is the best thing in the world. If you see somebody carrying this around, you know, oh, I could trust that fella or gal. Really great stuff. Scooter X says, I've used that toolkit to take apart many things. You don't mention that putting them back together, Scooter X. All right, I have a new phone, and I think a new love in my life. This is the Droid Turbo from Verizon. Now, I'm holding it up next to, maybe this would be better to show it over here, holding it up next to my Moto X. These are really very similar phones. The Moto X, second generation, I was so excited by this phone because, you know, it's close to a pure Google experience. I loved the leather back from Horween, and I really was looking forward to, kind of a much improved Moto X experience. And I was in every respect except one. The battery life, a little scant. I couldn't quite get through the day. And, you know, I took this to London with me, and the fact that by the time, you know, it was dinner time, I had to retire this phone really made me sad. So I had high hopes for when this came out. This is the Droid Turbo. Now, there are some negatives you should know about Verizon only, so don't even consider this if you're not a Verizon customer, although there are rumors that they're selling this in Latin America under the Droid Max name. 3,900 milliamp hour battery. That's 50% more than the Moto X, and it's, for that reason, a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, and they don't have the same Moto Maker style backs. You only have 3 choices. Ballistic nylon and the metallic glass. This is the red metallic glass. You don't have a lot of choices in memory either. The red and black metallic glass have 32 gigabytes of storage. You can get 64 gigs, but only if you get the nylon back. I decided not to go with the nylon back. I kind of like red. And I think for many of us, 32 gigs is probably enough. They have upped the specs. This is a spec giant. Not only the Snapdragon 805 at, I think it's 3.7 gigahertz. You've got very high-end GPUs. You've also got a very high resolution screen. This is Quad HD, 2550 by 1440. Let me put it this way. More than 500 dots per inch. Now, I'm going to point out, as I put this right next to the Moto X, which is 1080p, you really can't tell the difference. there comes a point when you have a little bit, you have more dots than you really need. These are both really crisp, beautiful AMOLED displays. They really look good. And by the way, yes, the processor is much faster in theory, plus 3 gigs of RAM. Should be a much snappier phone with the Turbo. Not really, not so much. They're both about the same, frankly. If I load Google+, you'll see they load pretty well. Actually, it already loaded it over here, so it loads a little bit faster. But everything scrolls the same. There's not a huge difference in the capabilities of it. So don't get this phone because it has more memory or a faster processor. You probably shouldn't even get this phone because it has a higher resolution screen, although it is a gorgeous screen. They are doing pretty much the same thing Motorola did with the Moto X. You have your own, wake-up command. As you can see, I've changed that wake-up command for this phone to help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I find it goes off a lot less when I say that.
You're our only hope.
It also has the adaptive display capability, the 4 infrared sensors that will, when I wave my hand over it, show me the time and any notifications I've got. All the things that make a Moto X really a great. You could just stop listening right now. I'm not talking to you. See, I think the Moto X is just a little bit jealous of my Droid Turbo. Some of the things that are on the Moto X are missing here. Besides design, that metal rim on the Moto X also allowed it to do some antenna tuning. So the Moto X reception theoretically was better. It's hard to tell. Verizon's got a pretty good signal here, so I haven't seen much of a difference. You should know, though, that this is a single antenna phone. So if you're on Verizon, it does not support voice and data at the same time. There are rumors there'll be a software update that will turn on VoLTE, V-O-L-T-E, voice over LTE on this phone. And then with VoLTE, you'll be able to use voice and data at the same time. But currently, as sold, you cannot. So if that's an issue for you, and I know it is for some people, this is not probably the right phone for you. I have to say I'm a little miffed because they put these giant batteries in here. They're really fantastic. But then they say to themselves, well, gosh, we have such a big battery. Why don't we quadruple the display resolution and ramp up the CPU? And pretty much by that time, you've got no net gain.
There's the bragging rights. You can brag about it.
This is a spec phone.
Yeah.
This is a phone where you just go, man, I got the state-of-the-art phone. And by the way, this is Kevlar-backed metallic
you're
glass,
right. So when the bullet comes, you want to be where you have that.
It's
in your...
Droid.
Yes.
It also has a disadvantage of, as with all Droid phones, it's got a lot of Verizon cruft installed on it. You can disable it, but you can't uninstall it. The Verizon Navigator, VP Protect. Actually, a lot of these have been disabled, the Verizon Cloud, because I just can't bear to have all those red icons in there. But those don't take up a huge amount of space. It's just, and most phones, if you're going to get it carrier subsidized, they're going to have something like that. But let's talk about battery life, because that's the reason you got it. We're here. I disconnected this morning at 7 a.m. I'm at 59% battery. I run this battery monitor, the GSAM battery monitor, when I'm testing new phones, and use it over a period of time to get some sense of how the battery's doing. It also tells you which applications are sucking the most battery. And I try to take off the most battery-intensive applications. Facebook, gone. Twitter, gone. Oddly enough, the Amazon Kindle, gone. Now, this comes with the full suite of Amazon software, another deal Verizon made. So you can't uninstall Amazon Kindle, but you could disable it. And that was one of the things, even though I had no Kindle books on here, I hadn't signed up for the Kindle account, that it just kept waking up the phone. So I turned all that stuff off. According to GSAM, I can expect about 20 hours of battery life. Now, for me, that's really good. That's right up there with the OnePlus One. I would say this phone isn't quite as good as the OnePlus One. It should be 2 days and 3 days because of that size battery. And Motorola, in fact, says you should be able to get 48 hours. But, those numbers vary depending on how you use your phone. I know how I use my phone. I use it hard. I talk to it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at the screen, and this is a great, beautiful, bright screen. But the battery life is not as much as it ought to be. However, it is better than the Moto X, and it probably will get you through the day unless you're really, really crazy. A couple of things you should know. This has a 21 megapixel camera. That seems to be a lot better, but in fact, in use, I haven't found it to be any better. And it has a flaw that a number of reviewers have reported that might drive you crazy. Watch how long it takes to take this picture. See that second lag right there?
And now you have a giant file.
That's annoying. And yeah, it is a big file, although that gives you the ability, as with a Nokia phone, to zoom in a little bit because you have so many pixels. It's a good camera. I think the Moto X was a good camera. It has all the features, the auto HDR and so forth of the Moto X. But that little lag, every time you take a picture, that could be a little bit annoying. So we're going to have to mark it down just a little bit for that. On the pros and cons, well, the pros, there's no higher spec phone than this. This has got everything you'd want in it, including a 500 plus dots per inch screen. Wow. Wow. You could tell your friends. They won't be able to tell the difference, but you could tell your friends. 21 megapixel camera is pretty impressive as well. And hey, this is made out of Kevlar. I think the red's pretty styling myself. A lot of people like the nylon ballistic back as well. It's kind of a unique look for a phone. It is a basically relatively pure Google experience. In fact, the Moto X's are already being soaked test for Lollipop. Every time I say Moto X, it wakes up. I'm not talking to you. They're being soak tested for Lollipop. I imagine that Droid Turbo will as well, because it is as pure a Google phone, minus the Verizon stuff, as anything else is. I mean, it is a Google phone. It looks exactly the same as the Google phones. It has exactly the same interface. This is pretty pure, but you've got some additional Motorola stuff, which is great. I think all of that is a plus, and it hasn't been much of a negative on the Moto X phones. So this is very similar to that. You'll recognize this immediately. Cons, the battery should be better than it is. There have been days where, in fact, this died on me at about 9 o'clock a couple of nights ago, and I feel like, gosh, it should be better. One more pro. Like the Moto X and the Galaxy Note 4 and a lot of new Snapdragon-based phones, it does do the rapid charging. That's a Qualcomm feature. It does require a specialized rapid charger. I played around with it a little bit. It thinks that the Galaxy Note 4 rapid charger is a rapid charger. The Galaxy Note thinks that the Motorola rapid charger is a rapid charger. So this is a standard that goes beyond any particular manufacturer. It does charge it up fast, about 50% in half an hour. That's nice. I certainly recommend using it. The other thing that's unique about this, it supports Qi charging, wireless charging. So I have a Qi stand by my bedside. I put this in there and charge it, and that's a very nice and easy way to do that. The Moto X does not support that. I feel like the Moto X is just jealous now. It's just getting jealous.
That's why you need a battery, because it's always going on accidentally.
The cons on this, as I said, I would like to see more for the battery life. It is thicker. It is heavier. That doesn't bother me so much. It feels like a manly phone.
Manly.
And that's what the Droid brand, frankly, was all about, is, power, more power. A definite buy on the Droid Turbo. If you're looking for Moto X-like capabilities of fairly pure Google experience, and a phone that has state-of-the-art across the board, you can live with a few of the negatives, like the little lag in the picture. By the way, that could be fixed in an update, as could be the issue with voice over LTE. If you can live with those, I would say a definite buy on the Droid Turbo. It is a nice piece of work. They've done a really nice job on this. Now, the only phone that remains for 2014 is the Nexus 6.
That's right. Jason
Howell and I have both ordered Nexus 6s, and they will ship on November 21st, and we'll have a review as quickly as we can after we get them. But I think as we get to the end of the year, I think it might be appropriate. Let's do this on a Before You Buy, to take all of the top phones of the year, the OnePlus One, the Galaxy Note 4, the Nexus 6, the Moto X, the Droid Turbo, line them all up and figure out which one is the right phone for Android. You've already chosen the iPhone, so you're out of luck.
Dang it.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks, Mike Elgin. We appreciate it. Of course, to Shannon Morse, Chad Johnson, Jason Howell, and thanks to you for joining us. We do Before You Buy right after Security Now, Tuesdays. It's around 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like to stop by, say hi. If you can't, though, don't worry. We make this available in a variety of fashions. Of course, you can go to twit.tv/BYB. That'll bring you to the Before You Buy page, and you can get the entire show there. We also put not only the entire show, but each individual review up on YouTube, youtube.com/BeforeYouBuy. And you can subscribe and get it every week on any podcatcher of your choice. We're everywhere. We really want to thank you for being here. And I want to remind you, you got to watch before you buy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.